The Digi Podcast, Digital Trends in Supply Chain Management.
Hello and welcome to our Digi Podcast. I'm Thomas Holzer from Siemens Digi Network with the Digi Podcast, a podcast on digital and innovative topics for procurement in the future. Today we dive into the world of artificial intelligence and explore its role in modern society. An exciting journey awaits, where humans and machines collaborate to shape the future. Joining me today is AI expert Fabian Tinkel-Henninghausen, and together we will uncover the secrets and potential of this emerging technology and understand its significance for us. Welcome to a podcast episode that will change your perspective on AI. Hello Fabian, it's great to have you with us.
Hello Thomas, thanks for having me.
So Fabian, did you notice something with our podcast intro?
Sounded a bit like ChatGPT helped with the text, right?
You are 100% correct. This was not the creative session between Sina, myself, and our guest. No, it was ChatGPT with Sina. I didn't notice a difference. Maybe it was a little bit more polite than normally. And that's what we want to talk today. But let's start at the beginning. What's generative AI like ChatGPT, for example? What's it exactly for, say, the digi fugitives like me?
Yeah, generative AI itself, it's a branch, it's a subset of artificial intelligence, and it focuses mainly on creating new content, patterns or solutions. So the focus here compared to other artificial intelligence technologies is the generative part of it. And how it works, you need basically a massive amount of data and very advanced deep learning technologies and the compute resources to be able to train such models and to provide them and to service them to the public. And the reason I think since end of November, everyone is, or more people are talking about generative AI is ChatGPT, though generative AI itself is older than ChatGPT. But with ChatGPT, it was the first time, I think, for a broader public visible and also easy to interact with a generative AI system by using natural language, right? That's the most common thing for humans to talk and to interact with each other. And this is the main reason I think why generative AI now is so hyped.
Thanks for the explanation. And I think ChatGPT or AI attack would pass the Turing test. I think it's a quite old test that the user doesn't notice that computer intelligence is the conversation partner.
Yes, you do. And I think this is the charming aspect of it, right? It feels so natural. That's why also people want to interact with. And I think it also sheds light a bit on all the past digitalization, and also AI initiatives. You always had to have some very, very deep understanding of the technology. You have to either code or you have to work with quite complex tools and front ends to interact with the system. But the only thing I think that humans, we didn't evolve for Excel or so, right? But we evolved over the past 250,000 years a very, very sophisticated method called language, right? We speak with each other. And this is the main driver also of any revolution, any cultural revolution we witnessed in the past. And that's why I think it's so powerful, this technology, because you interact with your language. And since the responses of this generative AI are so good, we don't even notice that the answers are not coming from a human, but from a generative AI. And this is basically the Turing test.
For me, and I will come back to this later, this is now the second or third time that ChatGPT tricked me. I didn't notice. So now gets into the business. How important is now generative AI for Siemens, as you just described with this language approach?
Yeah, I think the importance is it's not just for Siemens in general, but let's be specific for Siemens. I think it is important for all functions in all aspects. When I used to think of, say, new technologies that are emerging, and I have to think, what is the impact of it? I always try to figure out what are analogies here. And I think one analogy that we can, for Siemens at least, also refer to from our history is electricity, right? Electricity itself is not a single use case. It's not a single thing that you can do. It affects literally all facets and all aspects of an organization, from SCM organization over IT, but also to product development and how we sell solutions to our customers and how our products operate in the real world. And I think the same is true for generative AI. You can literally apply it everywhere. I mean, there are some domains and some functions that are more exposed to it. Wherever you generate a lot of text, for instance, then ChatGPT or documents. ChatGPT is a very, very good assistant in this area, say sales or marketing, right? What you do when you have the invitation for this podcast of Digi. So for this is an example where generative AI will definitely help in the future to not just facilitate such things, but really to speed up and to lead to productivity gains. So there is no department or no function that won't be affected to it. So the best thing is to think of potential use cases, to identify and to get started with it. And the good thing is we can do that within Siemens already, because luckily we have a strong partnership with Microsoft that we can use ChatGPT, the Siemens ChatGPT version, internally with our internal data even. And this is a big and a stark contrast to using the OpenAI ChatGPT version that is publicly available right now.
I got several questions from our customers, from Siemens customers or from network partners. They were totally surprised that we are using ChatGPT and it's forbidden in other companies to use it. But with Siemens, and we are a very data security driven company, we are allowed to use it. So why are we allowed to use it so openly and so intensively? And maybe then we can also come to the next question. What role do you play then in this game?
The major ingredient, I would say, is AI Attack in this journey. And AI Attack is actually a general purpose AI and machine learning platform we provide from ITDA side for Siemens for developing machine learning and AI applications and solutions in a secure and Siemens compliant manner. And since the end of November, when Microsoft announced its investment into OpenAI and ChatGPT, it was clear that they will host exclusively this model in their Azure cloud environment, which is also the basis of AI Attack. And so we had a clear, say from a platform perspective, a clear path how to approach this. And then we approached Microsoft, and with great support also from cybersecurity, from legal, everyone was really, working together towards this common goal to make this in a secure manner available for Siemens. And the ingredients, I would say, are the data protection side. This is covered since we operate our models in data centers that are from a security perspective cleared, like in Ireland, and also the strong partnership together with Microsoft that they guarantee these data privacy and protection concepts and support those things. So these two things they must come together, and then you're able to use it. And I think we're very fortunate in this way. There are not many actually I don't know a single one who's able to use this at scale as we can do this now within Siemens. To your second question, what is my role there? So I'm heading the Value Center Analytics Lab and AI in Dietmar Mauersberger's organization, the central IT data analytics department. We provide on the one hand side these platforms like AI Attack, but we build, and this is actually our main focus, we build on top products and solutions based on the different platforms and different AI platforms. And we do this across the domains, across Siemens. So the cross use cases are usually our main focus area. And of course, mainly internal use cases. So we're not, doing this externally. Since we have this combination that we are close to the platforms and we're close to the use cases, we also, of course, develop solutions based now on ChatGPT for Siemens across the various domains here.
That leads nearly to the next question, but I would like to add a few things. To make this running, it was a cross-functional approach. It's not only one department that can solve this. I think these are several departments. I think that's also what's changing with Siemens more and more, this cross-functional approach working together. And I think there we will get much more out of this whole show. From my point of view, that's the next level of the digital age. I come back now to the core. What can we do with generative AI at Siemens? Do you have some examples for us?
Yes, I like to. First of all, there are many examples, and we're already working on many use cases, also in a decentralized fashion, right? Because a lot of developers are already using the AI tech platform. So I would like to cluster them a bit in different areas. So we have on the one hand side assistants. This is what sometimes is called a chatbot or so, but it's really more than a chatbot, yeah, because a chatbot is usually on a very tiny aspect, a Q&A kind of system that usually stops after the second question. I mean, we all have witnessed that in the past. And an assistant is much more, he's or she's constantly updated, referring to other things and generating output. And I think this is something very powerful. You can leverage this everywhere. We like to start always first. So we always apply the technologies, the new ones, on our own. So we are our own customer zero, right? This is what we do. And for instance, during Christmas last year, we already developed a first level support for AI attack as a chatbot. Questions that are typically arising can be now answered with the chatbot, and we are extending this to a smarter assistant in the next step. So these kind of assistants, they are now emerging everywhere, I would say, also in legal or cybersecurity. These are concrete examples. What I also want to highlight is in the Siemens Accelerator marketplace. We do that because there we are really customer facing then. They are currently testing it to give a much better, much more intuitive full custom experience when people and our customers are looking for solutions within the Siemens Accelerator marketplace, and they are a bit unsure, or it is, say, more, they need more assistance compared to I just click and filter things out. And the second thing is, I think data synthesis is one of there are many use cases for other things as well, but I really like that one because it's the core of generative AI. It is able to generate new content or to transform messy data into much better structured data, or to extract human readable content out of, say, database schemas, etc. And I think this is something we all know that, right? You always have to be an expert when you try to digest what is in this Teamcenter table or in this SAP world or so. And this is something that you can really enhance this knowledge now a lot with something like ChatGPT. So there are plenty of use cases.
These were the very sophisticated use cases related to us customers or related to our internal business. What Fabian showed us was, I personally, and I don't know anybody who loves to write minutes of the meeting. He showed us with an effort of about 1 or 2 minutes. ChatGPT created the minutes of the meetings of our, I think, 45-minute session within another minute. And the quality of the minutes were definitely better than my normal standard minute of the meetings. And that was really impressive. And what's the sexy part of this? Everybody within Siemens can use this functionality. I think we have to learn and to train our teams, our people, how to use that. What I would like to comment, we don't even know what will happen in the future, because this will be the next level of, say, work transformation. Thanks a lot for this. So I just started to elaborate as usual, but how does, from your point of view, the future of generative AI look like in general at Siemens?
The future will be bright, but I'm always optimistic. But I think that we now have the starting point and the seeds for this growing and emerging technology. My forecast, personal opinion, is that in 2 to 3 years we will have generative AI in all functions and in all processes integrated, where it adds value, of course, right? Where it doesn't make sense, we shouldn't use it. And we will start a transformation. I see a transformation also in areas where right now generative AI is not yet there, like in designing of products, of factories, also the interaction and engagement together with customers in a complete unprecedented level. One of my favorite, this is something that I always have like a dream of, is this kind of, say, hyper automation we're going to, right? That we not just automate, say, the standard stuff, but really have smart assistants that are, like digital workers, right? That, start to connect the dots and to provide consistent, high quality answers in a very, very easy, human readable fashion. I think that is so my person, but I'm sure this will take some time, but that's my vision.
The future will be brighter. I personally totally convinced that's correct, because with generative AI, you can reduce work that's not really value adding, like minutes of the meeting. And I think it's important that we are not anxious about, but that we are careful how we use it. And I think as a first summary, what Fabian mentioned and said what's important, and that's getting even more important in the future, is that's the data ownership. I think we have to take care of our data. This will be done by Fabian, Dietmar and their teams. And the second topic where we are struggling since years is data quality. And especially here, I think something like generative AI will help us to work with data in a not so good quality and bring it to the next level. Is this a correct assumption, or could you maybe add something?
Absolutely, because it is... And this is one of the funny things. I think when you understand the fundamental principle of how these models are trained and how they work, they are literally taking good quality data, and it's called dropout, this mechanism. They throw away information. So they make good quality data crappy, and then they are trained. So what we are usually providing them from a Siemens perspective is we are providing sometimes crappy data, and it's able to, fill in the gaps natively, because this is what these models are trained on to do. And this is very exciting. So I think that opens a very, very new perspective on something like data quality, and that we do not accept this anymore. And we now have a tool how to overcome this. I think this is very powerful. And we have concrete proofs. You have it, right? The example of the transcript, right? Of the minutes of the meeting. This is a perfect example of a very lousy, noisy data set, right? The transcript wasn't good, to be honest. It was not really human readable. We were looking at it and it was like, Jesus, is this me? Is this
yes.
you? What is there, right? And it was able to summarize and even to infer the key action items out of this very, very noisy text. And the funny thing is that the summary, the protocol, was of much higher quality than the input. When we look around now, where do we struggle with data quality or so? This is definitely a use case to look into. I would highly recommend this as one of the key areas.
So, a lot of stuff today. I think this was one of the most interesting and learning-full sessions I ever had. And now we're coming to my most favorite question, last but not least. Who is Fabian?
Good one. Yeah, I am... Some fun facts maybe about me is, in my private life, I'm more the analog guy. So I like to read and not to do so much on the computer or to program stuff. And I like urban gardening. So I always have these vision that one day I will be able to just eat the fruits and tomatoes, etc., that I grow on my balcony and on my windowsills. It's a long way to go still, I have to say, right? The growth rate is not as with generative AI, unfortunately, but that's also good. And I like to be in the nature, so everything from walking to climbing to skiing, But on the other hand, I'm also a very curious person, so I always like to learn new things. And since 20 years now, also in the area of mathematics, of data, statistics. So it's the two worlds.
So you can see Fabian is the best practice example that people who are dealing with artificial intelligence are in the real life very smart, nice persons and in an analog way. Thanks, Fabian. It was really a pleasure. And also thanks for Sina for the preparing together with ChatGPT this double episode in German and English. Fabian, I have the feeling that it was not the last time that you met together in this way. Thanks to Fabian, thanks to ChatGPT, and thanks to Sina. And thanks to all our listeners, because without you, we wouldn't be there where we are. I hope you enjoyed our episode of this Digi podcast. If you have a question or if you want to find out more information about the Digi Network, reach out to our internet page, siemens.com/diginetwork, or write a comment via LinkedIn. I'm looking forward to having you as a listener at our next episode. Yours, Thomas Holzer from the Siemens Digi Network. Goodbye to all of you, and goodbye to Fabian. The last word is with you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Really enjoyed it. Thanks.
The Digi Podcast, Digital Trends in Supply Chain Management.